And this is episode number 8 of the Bodhi Bros. We are officially, at the end of this, going to be a binge-worthy podcast.
Yes. I'm Bodhi Ray.
And I am John with a J. And today, we are reviewing one of ralphsmart's many video offerings. And I think here, Ray, you might agree with me, I think Ralph was trying to set a world YouTube or just entire global record for the longest video name in the history of video names. Because this one is called, I'll read it. I got to read it to you. I don't have it memorized. It goes straight to your subconscious mind, the winning mindset for success, wealth, and happiness. I think he included every letter in the alphabet there. And kudos to you, Ralph, for the length of that sucker. But in a nutshell, I guess we could call it what he refers to it many times in the video as the
secret of a winning mindset.
Yes, the 2020 winning mindset, he calls it.
2020. Because next year it won't apply.
No, this would be totally different. You'll need a different mindset.
No, totally different. Totally different next year.
So Ray and I have not discussed this. We never do. The only thing we do, just so the viewers, the listeners know, before the videos, we talk about our week, like personal stuff that may or may not pop up on the video. Some might say, include that. No, not yet. We don't want to. That's for us. Something's got to be sacred. So, and then we just dive in. So all we know is that we've never watched a video. That's one thing we try to commit to, is a video that we've never seen before. One day, I'm sure we'll review a video that one of us has seen for one reason or another, or one that you guys recommend to us, whatever. But, so Ray, tell me about your history with ralphsmart, and then I'll chat about mine.
I mean, I think anyone spiritual or looking into personal growth is eventually going to stumble upon a ralphsmart Infinity Waters video. He's been around for a while, and he's got all his little catchphrases.
Can I get a hello?
Right.
What is ass prana? I still don't understand that one. What is ass, and why would you want to breathe it in? And how is it good? No, I'm kidding. I love his phrases. I think it's great. It's great to have catchphrases. But you're right. If you're doing any type of, as he calls his fan base, his kingdom of an audience, almost 2 million viewers. He boasts very heavily about his Golden YouTube Award, which has only been given out as of February 2020 to 566 individual creators. That means
maybe we'll be there someday.
You've graced him. No, maybe about it. It's only 1 million viewers. I mean, he's already up to almost 2 million. We'll get there. You know who's not there and needs to be there? And we'll move on real quickly. Teal. Teal deserves 1 million viewers. Folks, let's get to it. She's at close to 700,000. Let's push Teal over the edge. It's tipping point time. And Ralph loves Teal, so that's why I'm plugging Teal for.
Yeah, he's done videos with her before, I've seen.
Yep, they dig each other. And that's what kind of led me to Ralph, was, doing my spiritual dabbling here and there. And I'm like, I guess through the search engine algorithms and stuff, you start watching Teal stuff, and maybe some Ralph smart stuff starts popping up.
I think I may have actually come across Ralph first. I think. Yeah. Could be wrong though.
I don't know if they started roughly around the same time, like putting content out. I know he says he's been doing it for 10 years. I think she's been doing roughly the same. I mean, it's not a competition. And they both adore each other. So that's kind of cool, because in that spiritual teaching community, that doesn't always happen. In fact, from what I understand, it rarely happens, which is peculiar, but whatever. So Ray, initial thoughts on videos of the past of Ralph compared to this one, however you want to do it.
I thought this video was okay. I thought it was very motivational. I think it gave some good stuff. Is it anything that I haven't heard before? Not really. Could it have been a shorter video? Yeah. I think so.
I agree with that.
But overall, sometimes you need to hear this stuff. Even though you heard it before, sometimes it's how many times have you played Eye of the Tiger or We Are the Champions? You know,
Yep.
you've heard that song many times, but sometimes you need it to listen to it to get yourself going. So sometimes you need that refreshing, that stuff to get you going and put you in that positive mindset. So
As an Italian man, I am very guilty of the first song that you suggested. The Tiger was actually, this is no joke. My wife and I, who I was married to for 13 years, walked into that song. We were introduced as Mr. and Mrs. Peppy to the Eye of the Tiger.
you would know what song I walked out to?
What?
Sad but True.
Oh shit! Look at us, man. Hardcore. I love it. Why? Why? I don't know. I don't even know. I don't think I want to know why. You could tell
Maybe
me.
it was a self-fulfilling prophecy there, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I like the intro, the intro music. I thought, that's pretty cool. Come out, just that part.
Right. That was kind of my, you know what? Same line of thought there. It wasn't like our marriage or our relationship resembled the theme of the Eye of the Tiger. I think it was just that right. And yeah,
It got you hyped up. Got everybody
right.
hyped up.
And I think that's what Ralph. I was telling my partner, I'm like rubbing my temple. She's like, what? And this is during me watching Ralph's video here for the second time. She's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know. I got to be honest with these videos. I can't. I mean, I love the Ralph. I love what he's doing, and he makes me smile. I'm like, but I may have to rake him across the coals on this one, man. I was
Man,
only.
you got to keep it real.
I know.
Real.
And she's like, and she was making a sad face, like the lip was quivering. She was like, and I'm like, why are you making that face? And she's like, I love Ralph. And I'm like, yeah, I know, me too. But this video, it's just, oh. So I was like, okay,
I kind of feel like this video was like almost like a song on the record. It's like kind of like a filler. It's sort of like a filler video. It wasn't like it was good. It's kind of rah. It kind of is that Eye of the Tiger-ish sort of inspirational. You could do it. This is the mindset. Does it really go deep? Not really.
Right. I was just going to say, maybe this wasn't deep diving for maybe this was more shallow water, just kind of like splashing around, because he does. Here's the thing. He does put out a lot of content. So I don't know if you can get archaeological on everybody's ass every time you put a video out there. And like you mentioned earlier, there were some good reminders here, and I got notes down, and there's some, look, this video is going to do what all the others have done for us every week in the past, leading up to coveted number 8, where now you can binge us, folks. It's going to leave us with something. It left me with some things to consider. And as we talked before, our personal time before the video, that last week's video affected you in ways that were surprising to you and me too.
Yeah.
So,
it's we have to keep in mind too is that me and you are reviewing these videos every week, and some of these videos that we reviewed are very, very deep. So when we come across a video like this, it may seem a little more shallow to us than some other people watching it.
That's a really good point.
Perspective.
That's a really good point. And I hadn't watched a ralphsmart video in a while. And so like he was like blowing himself up. He's like, I'm number 1 and I'm this and I'm that. I'm like, I don't remember him this way. But like he does. I went back and I watched like three other ralphsmart videos just to get the flavor back. And I'm like, oh yeah, he does this all the time. And it's okay. I mean, like, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. In the last video I watched of him, he was talking about how he's reaching out to all the chosen ones. And he's like, I'm the chosen one. He's not saying he's solely the chosen one. He's challenging people to step into their power and walk into their passion and purpose. And I'm like, all right, this is the ralphsmart stuff. Okay, I get it. The music, let's just say this, the music came back to me. And so as I continued watching it for the second time and taking my notes, because first time is just watch it, let it marinate. Second time is, all right, I'm going to study it, hit pause a lot, scribble some stuff down, and like really let it seep in. it brought back the appreciation for Ralph. So I could say at the end of it, when I looked at my partner, I'm like, he's safe. We're not, we're not going to slaughter him on the podcast.
No.
At least I'm not. I don't know what Ray's going to do. Ray might be like, beep, beep.
This is like this is like this isn't like one of his best hits.
There you go.
But he has a lot of hits. Just kind of comparing it to music. This is kind of like it's okay. It's an okay song. It's a filler song. It's okay. Would I go back to this video? No.
Right. It's okay. I'm gonna rip through this real quick, and then we can talk about what we like, what we're, what maybe we didn't resonate with, whatever. But he kept saying to adopt the 2020 winning mindset. And he repeats himself, and I love it and loathe it in the same breath. I'm like, okay, we got it. He's like, can I get a hello? Slow motion, deep divers. To adopt the 2020 winning mindset, you have to, and I'm like, here's the secret. Work on the weekend, sacrifice. You have to stand out. Prepare for the fall, failure. Stop sharing your dreams with people and be willing and hang around with people that are willing to nurture them. 7-day vegan challenge. Eat like a champion. Invest in new experiences. Travel to new countries. Can't really do that right now. Be in love with the race. Have patience because life is a marathon. It's not a race. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Make sure you reinvent yourself. And finally, change your thoughts and you change the world. That is the winning recipe, the secret mindset for 2020. It's not one thing. It is a jambalaya of things, man. This was a gumbo of considerations. So that my fault for assuming. When that happens, I'm like, he's going to come out and say, change your thoughts and you change your world. And that's going to be the video. It's going to be 25 minutes of how you change your thoughts and change the world. Because he does talk about, he got really scientific with the alpha and the theta brain waves. And
yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. That's one thing that he said, that when you wake up, he recommended wake up at 4 a.m. And he says how the mind is sort of that in between the theta and the alpha. So when you wake up, you're in optimal time. That the alpha is the gateway to the subconscious. So when you're in that kind of that halfway point, it seems like you're just starting off on a good foot. But getting up at 4 a.m. every day, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, for some people it can't happen. For me, my partner and our lifestyle, I like to, some people have the 9 to 5. Some people have the 8 to 4, whether their jobs are. Some people have different shifts where, if you're in the restaurant industry or retail, maybe you have some mid shifts, maybe you have some night shifts, maybe it's just a mixture of everything.
I'm all mixed up.
There you go. And that's why we dig each other. But we're a 12 to 12 family, basically. That's what I tell people. I'm like, because sometimes someone will say like, oh, can I send someone over to the house, or and I'm like, whoa. We don't wake up until like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock sometimes. And that's like our sweet spot, really. But when I say 12 to 12, like during the weekdays, she's working. She takes clients late and she ends taking clients late. So we might not get home from the office until like 9, 10 o'clock sometimes. And then eat, unfortunately, really late, go to bed and give ourselves some time to digest and move around a little bit before we hit the sheets. So that's like 12, 1 o'clock. And so getting up at 4, as much as I would love to experiment with that, and I have to a certain degree in the past, it's just not feasible right now with our lifestyle and trying to keep, bread on the table and roof above the head.
Right.
So
I'm pretty good at getting up early. I am an early riser. Sometimes I wake up at 5:30, 6 o'clock. But I could get up at 4 a.m. if I wanted to. Of course I could. I'm one of those people who doesn't need an alarm. If I set my internal alarm for 4 a.m., I'll get up at 4 a.m. But do I really want to? Not really.
Yeah.
Because then I'm gonna get super tired later on at night. 9 o'clock, I'm gonna be ready for bed, or 8 o'clock. So I don't really want that.
I think it works well in certain scenarios. maybe in cycles in your life, or for certain people that have lifestyles like he does as a creator. I mean, he sets his own schedule, and he said like CEOs. Well, yeah, they're the boss, man. If you're not the boss of, and maybe that's his challenge too. Like, hey, become your own boss, and that's why I looked into that. I'm like, okay, there's some meat here, to nuzzle into. There's definitely some juiciness. Um, Maybe that's not the best analogy because I'm vegan, he's vegan, but anyway, whatever. I think you know what I'm saying. Um,
Yeah.
and when I think back to the times that I've woken up early, it does feel good. All that time I spent in Costa Rica, I would go to bed at midnight. And man, the natural circadian rhythm of that land, I mean, it is so lush with life that the heartbeat of that earth beneath you and the sun that rises just pulls you from your bed in this magnetic way that's just almost indescribable. I'm doing my best right now. But and there's also, I guess, when you're on a vacation or at a retreat or something like that, and you're doing some cool
Right.
work with some cool people, you have that FOMO that sets in too, the fear of missing out. So that 6 hours is fine. Going to bed late, waking up early, maybe in that environment
Yeah.
does behoove you well.
I notice when I'm on vacations or if I'm on retreats, when I've been in Maui, I would go to bed at 12 and I'd wake up at 3:30 or 4, and I just didn't need any more sleep. I don't know what it was. It was just the energy, like you were saying, it's the energy there. So I think
Maybe,
it depends on your environment.
yeah,
It depends.
and maybe I bet back to what he said, and I'm giving kudos to the smart of Ralph here, and that he challenges you to be excited about your life, getting up. And look, we're talking about vacations and retreats. We're excited where we're at, in the environment where we're at. We're stoked, the people that we're surrounded by. So sleeping isn't as important, and maybe our body just comes up and goes, "Hey, it's time to go connect to this wonderful world and these awesome people." So you can sleep another time. And maybe if you slowly transform your life into a perpetual vacation, and they say, if you do what you love, you'll never have to work another day in your life. And I would say
Well,
for most,
that kind of goes to, yeah, that kind of goes to what he said before is wake up, something greater to live for than yourself. And and you need to change your motivation. So I think that's kind of changing your motivation. You're more motivated when you're on retreat or a vacation to get up because look what you have to look forward to. You're not getting up to go to a job. You're not getting up to do something you don't like. So yeah, changing your motivation. Live for something more than yourself. So maybe that more for yourself is doing something for your family. Maybe it's doing something for yourself, like meditation or going to the gym, working out, some kind of improvement. And that could be your motivation to get up earlier, write a book, or whatever.
yeah, I think so. I think a big takeaway for me would be, in line with with what you're referencing right now is, as I'm self-reflecting during the first and the second viewing slash listening to this recording, I'm like, all right, how do I apply this into my day to day? Where do I have room for expansion, improvement, just feeling better, not for the sake of competing with anyone or, the early bird gets the worm type of, nonsense. But for me, what's going to feel good? And, doing the inventory of the days and the nights and where I'm at physically. And I'm trying to challenge myself to lose weight again in a healthy, sustainable way this time and keep it off. Which will bring me to my next topic, which is the 7-day vegan challenge. So please don't let me forget. I'd like to expand upon that conversation. So I walk every night because here in Orlando, Florida, it's the middle of the day. Just good gosh, it's torturous during the summer months. The humidity is wicked. So I'll walk for an hour at night. And last night I'm thinking after I watched the video, it might be really fucking kick ass to do this in the morning when it's cool too. I'll get the birds,
Yeah.
I'll get a different sunlight energy versus the sun setting energy. and I'll be able to have that extra exercise, cardio, and just being in the sun, exposure, healthy, ooey gooey goodness there. And if I set an alarm, which I really don't like alarms, but like you, I can set the internal clock as well and pull myself out up, and maybe not be slave to an alarm clock. And if I wake up at 8 and I look at the clock and it's 8, cool. If it's 9, cool. Not like, damn, I missed my window, but just do it as it feels right and do it as it's natural. And I think that would serve me really, really well, because maybe the extra hour or two I'm nestling into the bed isn't serving me as well. Maybe it did for a while, but maybe as I'm moving forward, I could really use that extra walk in the morning. How about you?
Yeah. I I do a lot of meditation, and I do a lot of self-reflection work in the morning. It seems to me when I do it the best. If I notice if I try to do it at night, I start to get sleepy and my mind starts to drift. I start to get tired. So I like to do Reiki for myself or do some kind of meditation. I like doing it early. It seems I'm just more connected early.
Do you do
I
that?
don't think I need.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't feel the need I have to get 4 a.m. to do that. Sometimes it could be 6:30 or
Yeah.
whenever. So I am a little bit more of a morning person. I like to work out in the morning too. Not super early, but sometimes at my work I go in at noon. So sometimes I'll go to the gym at 9:30. And my gym and my work are pretty close to me, so it's not really a problem. I'll go there at 9:30, work out for an hour or so, come home and shower, and that usually feels good getting that out of the way early. For me, I have
Yeah.
worked out in the evening, but I can get used to either or. But it seems like my body is just naturally wants to work out a little bit earlier than later. But that's just me.
So I'm curious, how, like with your routine, with what works best for you, and everyone's going to be different. And I guess I'm trying to learn what morning practice would really help set the tone, as he talks about um,
Right.
very vividly, just setting the course for the rest of the day. And I believe in that. I really think
Mhm.
that that's an element that's missing in my life. So thanks, Ralph, for the gentle reminder. Absolutely. Do you eat first, or do you like what works for you and your body as far as processing everything and like getting a good workout or meditate? Like, do you eat after all that, or is it best to eat
I
before?
usually have to eat something. Unless I'm doing intermittent fasting. I've done that before, where I didn't eat or I was only eating one meal a day. I did that for a period of time, which was really good. I'd like to get back to that. It doesn't really make a difference. Normally when I get up, I'll eat something small, like a protein bar or a cup of yogurt. A lot of times I just need something, nothing heavy, but sometimes I need something
Right.
there. And then I usually need some sort of caffeine.
I ask because for me, I think my personal struggle is when I get up, I'm like, all right, here's the list. Like my day isn't getting up exciting to take care of me, to take that morning walk, to do that morning workout. Okay, I got to make breakfast because I take care of my partner every day. I make sure because she's getting ready for work, doing that. She's getting all the rest that she can so she can be fueled for the day. So we sleep late, but then she doesn't have a big window of opportunity to do many things before we have to leave the house to go to the office, right? So for me, it's okay. I get up. I'm like, all right, I got to go prepare breakfast for her and I have to go feed the cats. I have to, maybe clean up the kitchen, do the dishes, do whatever I haven't done from last night. And so it's chores, which I've been trying to find the bliss in the chopping wood and carrying water, but it's actually and witnessing this video just made me really, it put an exclamation point, excuse me, on I'm not enjoying my mornings. And not that I don't love taking care of her and the cats and this and that, but it's not, my morning is not being fueled in that inspiring way to where I feel like I've
I
set a
think
flame.
I think that something you could do is that you could still do those things. I think mindfulness is the key for you there. I think you could still do those things, but do it from a different perspective. Do it from a place of mindfulness, and you could do it as service. You could look at her as that's the divine goddess. I am serving God by doing those things. I am serving the divine feminine. This is my worship. This is my practice. So you can getting the food and doing all that and doing it from a different perspective, from a deeper place in your heart than just doing it as, oh, this is what I got to do. This is the chore.
That's a beautiful thought. Yeah, I think that's spot on, man. And Bodhi Ray knows that John with a J's one word mantra for this year is mindfulness. So thank you for the challenge, sir. Accepted. And
I must say
that will be the biggest takeaway for me, because I think that's really, really beautiful what you said. And it makes it rings very loud and true right here in the center part of The Simpsons. So
I got the hot rod, Roddy Piper going today.
This fucking guy he shows up today, guys, and I'm like, you can't beat The Simpsons, man. And all I see is what you see right now. You don't even see the hot rod part. And I'm like, he's got a plain tee on today. I finally win the t-shirt game, and he stands up, and I'm like, son of a crackers, holy shnikey shits, butt farts, and all the stupid words that can come out, meatball craps. He wins again. I think the only one, maybe I'm going to show up shirtless next week and be like, like, you really thought you won with that nonsense? Maybe. Is it a t-shirt or is it a whatever? See, I can't even be funny, and I'm losing again.
You lose it.
So
what else? What else is good on here? Let's see. What else can we dig into? Talks about wisdom.
Oh yes.
Being something that you have to go through as an experience. Sort of wisdom versus knowledge, and how the mind is. The mind loves collecting knowledge, but sometimes wisdom is different. Wisdom comes from actually going through a situation, a scenario, and there's a lot of experts with a lot of knowledge without a lot of wisdom that I see come across, especially on the internet.
Yeah, man. And I think we look back to the last episode and talked about the mirror exercise. For me, that was knowledge. I knew of this practice that has worked for many people, but I had no wisdom connected to it because I just talked about it. I was never about it until recently. And now it comes from a place of that really much deeper wisdom. We could see things and call them pretty. We can study things and call them deep. But until, we extend our wings and fly like the blue jay, man, that we don't know what we don't know.
You got to walk the walk.
Yep. Flap the flap. Hey, you were supposed to remind me, 7-day vegan challenge.
I didn't need to.
I know. You just, maybe you did in your own little Bodhi Ray way. So I love the 7-day vegan challenge because it reminds me of the 3-minute global meditations that I've been hosting for a few years. People are like, why 3 minutes? Like, that's not, like, you can't even really go anywhere or get anywhere. Yes, you can. And it acts as a foundational, premise that you can build upon. It doesn't have to be 3 minutes. You can go for 33 minutes, 3 hours and 30 minutes. It doesn't have to have any 3 numbers connected to it. It's just a reminder to meditate, to love ourselves in that very wonderful way. So at first, when they said 7-day vegan challenge, I'm like, Ralph, it doesn't work. 7 days is not enough because a lot of people that their bodies will start rejecting, they'll be detoxifying from all their old habits and stuff. And they'll be like, oh, they'll attach what's going on with this vegan diet with not good. My body doesn't feel good. It needs the old food. Whereas it's just the new food's just pushing out all of the gunk and stuff. So I would just say with this, it's just a starting place. When Ralph says 7-day vegan challenge, maybe make it 30 days and see what happens, because I've been doing it a year and a half now, and I'm just now understanding it. My body's just now, after a year, and it depends on where you're at, how old you are, you know, how the furnace is working inside you, yada, yada, blah, 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 blah. However, 7-Day Vegan Challenge, let me expound upon this and help Ralph out a little bit for those of you that are considering this. Stay away from the vegan processed foods. Know that carbs are the enemy. You can have them. Have your balanced carbs, this and that, but don't do what I did. Don't be like, I'm vegan now. I can eat everything that's vegan, and I'll be vegan healthy. That vegan shit blew up in me like the most explosive dynamite you can imagine, and wouldn't have thought that being vegan would lead me to gout flare-ups. Man, when you start putting processed bullshit in your body, your kidneys don't know what the fuck to do with them. It reverts back to old ways, and it's like, I need to send him a warning shot in the most painful way imaginable. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, do it. Maybe it should be the 7-day raw vegan challenge. But like I said, again, just get started there and challenge yourself if you're having any physical uncomfortabilities to push through it, and know that your body's working through things and learning a new language of love.
Right.
What do you have to say?
Well, I think that goes for a lot of things that are changing. You do anything that's a change, there's always seems to be that little period where it's painful, that part of where you have to adapt. You know, that goes with people who work out, exercise. You get that soreness. It hurts to walk or sit down. People are like, I don't know about this. I don't want to be sore all the time. So they quit, not realizing that you have to go through that initial phase where you are sore because your body's not used to it and it's adapting. But once you get through that phase, it's not like that at all really anymore. So there's growing pains for everything. I'm not vegan, so I've never experienced that. Definitely would be a challenge.
Have you ever done like a stretch of time where you were on the Teal Swan training, where did you remain vegan for that week, or did you cheat, or?
Yeah, I did cheat the one day. When we had that day in Park City, I went and had a burger.
Oh, nice. It must have felt good though.
It was a damn good burger too.
Woo! Yeah, but for the week you were there, that was the only day that you.
Yeah, the rest of the time I ate what was there. I know when I was at the Ramdas Legacy retreats in Ojai, California, those were all vegan as well.
Yeah.
Same thing. So I guess I could do it. I could do it if somebody's making the food. I could eat it. I have no problem eating.
But right now, the vegan lifestyle doesn't call to you the way 4 o'clock in the morning doesn't call to you. It's just not a thing that you're feeling right now.
I'm kind of lazy when it comes to meal prep and stuff. I don't really cook much, and I live by myself, and it's kind of just a lot of times I try to eat a good amount of protein for working out, and I do what I can. I don't eat terrible. I really don't eat much fast food at all.
Yeah.
But I know I could always do better. You know, there's a spectrum of eating better. And
well, you're in great shape, man. And I mean, these videos do us no justice. But like Ray, just so you guys know, Ray's in great shape. He shines very radiantly in person, and has a very healthy looking posture and stuff. So yeah, whatever you're doing is working for you, buddy.
Yeah, I just do the best I can, and that's how it is. There's always room for improvement, though.
And vegan, you're right. You're right about
maybe
that.
In the future. Yeah. Maybe sometime in the future, I'll go down that route.
And you know what? Maybe it's much easier when you do have a partner working with you in that, because like you said, you're lazy. I'm lazy too, and being vegan, man, it's hard to be lazy because it's a lot of food prep. If you're gonna do it right, I mean, you're really eating, as Ralph talks about. He wakes up with grapes in his mouth. That's easy. Or he wakes up with a mango in his mouth. He said in another video I've recently watched of him. If it wasn't this video, it might have been this video. Anyway, but he's eating leafy greens, and you're like, well, that's easy, leafy greens, grapes. But as you're doing it for an extended period of time, you're craving warm foods or whatever. If you're not totally raw vegan, it takes some work to put things together and to go to the store a lot and buy things fresh. You're buying less more frequently, so things aren't spoiling and they're staying fresh. And nowadays, that's a challenge too, because you're limiting your social interactions and trips to the grocery store. Maybe you're only going once a week where you used to go 4 or 5 times a week. I know that's what we've been doing. We only go once a week now. So our refrigerator is like, that's kind of a challenge too, because you're like, shit, we got to eat this all before it goes bad. And then you're like, I'm eating too much. But we're doing it.
That's what happens to me. I'll buy the big size of spinach at work, and I end up eating a little bit of it and have to throw most of it away because I can't eat that huge bag of whatever it is. So yeah,
whatever it is, whatever that green shit is. I can't do it. Fucking green shit. Hey, do you hear that? Do you hear that ringing? It's not on your end? Oh, it sounds like the bell of maybe an oracle card reading.
Oh, okay.
I just.
All right.
All right.
Well, what we got today, I have Rumi Oracle. These are actually kind of new. I got these not that long ago.
Fancy.
Really nice cards. Very in-depth book, but I'm not gonna read all of it. The passage. I'll get to the kernel of the juice.
The cover is very fancy.
Yeah. So here's the cards. Some of them.
Oh, the artwork kind of reminds me of the cards from last week, the Journey to Love deck.
Right. Yeah, very similar.
Who's responsible for this deck?
Alana Fairchild.
Same person.
Is it? Oh wow.
Yes. That's why the artwork looks similar. Oh, I love her. I told you, anything she's connected to, it always hits me in the chambers for. I love it.
This will be a card for the collective energy of the week, or at least from this episode to the next episode.
Doing my mojos real quick, man. Hitting those pressure points.
We got number 24, Replenish with Grace.
Oh, sexy card.
Replenish with Grace. So I will look up and see what it says. Pick out the good part, because like I said, this is kind of
yeah.
Okay.
Hit me with the marrow, Ray.
This oracle comes to you with a message. You may be wondering if you can attain the next stage of growth in your life. You are already well equipped to do so, no matter what you might believe about the situation, circumstances, or others involved, even yourself. You have it within your sole possession, more than enough grace to see you through anything you are bold enough to envision for yourself, or for any vision you feel life has bestowed upon you. So, that's the message. What's your thoughts on that?
I was just going to ask you, how's that feel for you?
You answer first.
What is the title again? It was card number 24, and it was.
Let me look it up again. It was replenish with grace.
Replenish. Yeah. That's the word I was trying to grab for.
Replendent. I can't say that word. It's RESPLENDENT.
Resplendent.
Resplendent, yeah. Resplendent.
So
I don't think I've ever said that word before.
I think it's really in line. Okay, so what does it mean for me? It's just really in line with what you mentioned earlier, for me, how I'm meeting my daily chores and transforming them into the service of the goddess, and
Yes.
and my incredibly um, divine sentient cat inhabitants of the home, my children, if you will, right? So my family, being of service to my family, not just here at the abode, but abroad and out in the world as well. And just meeting all of those routine things, even, the messaging on the Facebook. I've done that, been approaching that a little more differently too, when maybe I leave a comment or reach out to someone on Messenger or something, just meeting it all with a different, an elevated level of grace and gratitude. And so, yeah, I think those are the two things that connect for me. The number 24 right now, nothing is really popping out, but that could smack me in the back of the head, in 3 hours from now. Who
Right.
knows?
Right. I mean, what I came away with this is that it's all inside you. Um, Sometimes we're looking externally for advice or something to help us get through. And yes, it can, but really we have it all inside of us already. Anything external, like a teaching or advice, is kind of just helping us remember what we already know, what we already have inside of us. We have that strength, we have that power, we have that love already. It's just that it needs to be realized. That's what I.
And we can connect that to our feelings on this Ralph Smart video. Like, it wasn't anything super deep or anything like that, like we said, but maybe he said some really, really pointed things that are going to needle us in a way, to help us transcend to another playing level of, I don't want to say expertise, but of enjoyment, of grace, of understanding in our lives, and health, wealth, all that cool 2020 winning mindset. Can I get a hello? This is a tribute. This is a tribute, Ralph. This is a tribute. Slow motion left. Love you, Ralph Smart. Keep doing what you're
Well,
doing.
what? There's something too what he said about learn how to be different from the crowd, and that kind of reminded me of that video of the one we did about JP Sears about embracing your weirdness.
Oh, he did. He did
That was
mention that. He did mention that.
he
Yes,
didn't
he did.
mention how you need to be different from the crowd. You need to stand out, and going back to that JP Sears, embracing your weirdness. We all have that something different within us. It's just feeling safe and feeling confident to express that.
Yeah. I thank you for bringing that point up, because he did. I don't have that written down, but that did hit home for me as well. Trying to, as you know, I've launched a comedy career, and I have projects on the side of this Bodhi Bros thing, where I have a comedy channel, I have a Patreon page, I write books with my daughter, I do a bunch of stuff. 2020 was my year to embrace fully, step into my passion, my purpose as an artist, abandon everything else that wasn't serving me, and just take a huge leap of faith and say, I'm going to do this. And, I may be confused, and this is okay if I am. I don't, like I said, I watched 3 other videos after this one, and I may be putting them all together in one big Ralph Smart hodgepodge. But whatever, and that's fine, because these videos are awesome for that too, because they'll lead you from one to another, and YouTube will do all the work for you and be like, if you like that one, you might want to like this one. And then I actually stumbled upon this cycle on his personal webpage, because I wanted to see what his webpage looked like. And what Ralph did for me this week in this whole experience was challenge me and just remind me to be big, and it's okay to be big. Be 1 in a billion, he said. I don't know if it was in this video. It may have been another video, but be 1 in a billion. Embrace that weirdness. And he talked about, and I can share the links to the videos that I watched, so everyone knows, what those were and how they inspired me, but he talks about in one of the videos he was talking about 7 streams of income that he had cultivated before the age
Hmm.
23. And
I
it's
didn't hear
just,
about that. It must be a
it's,
different video.
yeah, that was a different video, but he was talking about diversifying. And I'm like, dude, I'm doing that. So it was cool to hear that I'm doing the things that Ralph did. And he's like, you're going to have your haters. And he's like, you're going to have people, especially your friends and family, telling you they don't believe it. Why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting time? He's like, you can't listen to that. And he's like, because trust me now, all those same people are knocking on my door and saying, hey, I want to do this with you. I want to do that with you. And he's like, those are the same people that told me, what the are you doing? Stop it, Ralph. Or come out to the club with us. He's like, no, I got to work. I got to do my thing. And they're like, you're crazy. He's like, well, let me be crazy. He's like, I'm crazy living like a billionaire every day now. And when he said that, I was like, damn, dude. Like, he's got that swagger. And it's not,
Yeah.
look, I've never met him in person, but I'm sure he's very lovely. I don't get that impression that he's, a jerk or or obtuse or anything like that. I really feel like
I don't
he's
either.
genuinely doing good work and he's loving his life. And now he's celebrating and he's not hiding the truth that he's wildly financially successful now. And I dig that because he's not trying to cover any of that up and be, humble or whatever. He's saying, look, be a badass. Get out there, don't step on people, don't be an asshole, but if you make a
Right.
lot of money, when you get a lot of success, when the flames are fully lit and you're a blazing inferno, let people know your journey, let people know how you got there. Don't hide and say, maybe I have money now, I don't want to talk about it. He's like, I have shit, I make money in my sleep, he said in one of these videos, right? He was like, I make more money in a day than I used to make in a month. That's what he was talking about. And I was like, damn,
Wow.
it's so good to hear him say that. And he's not selling, the secrets to wealth, blah, blah.
I think he's just trying to motivate you and let you know
Yes.
that it's possible.
Yeah.
It's not about, look at me, I'm better than you. It's, hey, look, this is possible. If I could do it, you could do it.
Right. And
That's
not
kind of
everyone's
how
going to
I get.
have 2 million YouTube subscribers like he has. And it took a lot of work and it took a lot of time. It's not an overnight success thing. But
No.
this week, for me, with all the things as an artist, Ray, that I'm diving into, it was really cool to connect, I say connect with Ralph in this way. So you picked another winner, buddy. You picked another winner. Even though we didn't love the particular video, the journey and everything that was born
Right.
around it is always inspiring, man. So
Yeah. There's always something you can take away from this. I mean, still, even though it's something that a lot of it I've heard before from other places, it's still a good reminder. It's still motivating. It still makes me want to do something more with my time when I wake up in the morning. I can be more productive, and I know that I'm not. So it's reminding me that, and to take advantage of what the opportunities that I have. That's what I got out of it. That's my bottom line.
cool. So let's slide into some housework since we talked about chores earlier, but we'll inject a little grace into this. If anyone out there has a retreat center, knows of a retreat center, or whatever, you're inspired by this next avenue of exploration, let us know. Because eventually the Bodhi Bros would like to host an event when the global engine gets vroom vroom restarted and we're all able to be closer together again and breathe easier. We would like to put something together for friends, family, fans,
Yeah.
whomever. It could be 3 people, it could be 300 people. So the size of the venue doesn't matter. But if we start now, we get proactive here. We can take our time to build it, and I'm
To
sure
let it manifest,
yes,
put
and
it out into the universe.
yeah, and so if you have a place and you're looking for some folks to partner with, reach out to us or direct
Yeah.
us to whom those people may be. And we'll start cultivating that relationship and understanding of what the property looks like, the financials, all that stuff. And, Ray and I talked about it doesn't have to be a money maker for us, although that would be a wonderful bonus when you put a bunch of work into something. That energy exchange, I think, is very valid to be expected. But we also talked like, hey, if we break even and at least we're not losing money and we get to meet up with a bunch of cool people and do some really peaceful, prosperous, and poetry snapping stuff.
It's the experience. It's the, like what he says, wisdom is from experience. So we'll all be gaining wisdom by this experience together as a unit, as a collective. So
right, and maybe
I would like to do.
Maybe we can connect that word wisdom to the name of our retreat or retreats or whatever. Hey, we just want to do cool shit with cool people, man, and we're open for suggestions. So let us know. This, unless Ray has some other stuff, has been episode number 8. I'm going to start inviting the shit out of people. I don't know if that's a good phrase. I'm going to invite the shit out of people. I'm going to do a lot of inviting. And so pardon any annoyance, any over promotion, but hey, it is what it is. You got to get it out there. And I want everyone to start to see and understand what to do. Because I feel really good about this episode. I feel every time we hit record, it gets better and better and better. And Ray and I get closer and closer and closer. And even though he's on the other side of the country, I feel like we come together in a bro hug every time. And we put some good stuff out there for the world to consider. So I want the world to have the opportunity to consider it. So there will be invitations to subscribe, like. There's so many platforms to listen to us. YouTube, you can always watch and listen. All of those links will be in the description field of the YouTube situation. You can check us out on Facebook. You can check us out on Instagram. Eventually, I guess we'll have a Patreon, and that'll be a pretty cool platform too. But in the meantime, I will drop the link to those ralphsmart videos. Hopefully I can find the ones that I watched because he has a shit ton. I'll also add the link to the 3-minute global meditations event that I host on Facebook. If any of you are interested in that. Ray, what do you got? Anything to close us out?
I'm good. Just let us know if you have any ideas for teachers that you want us to review. Any ideas, leave them in the comments. We'll check it out. So feedback is good. And that's all I got.
All right.
All right. Bodhi Bros.
A million and woe thanks. 1,000,001. I said 1,000,000 and woe. I kind of like that better. 1,000,000 and woe thanks from the Bodhi Bros and Hot Rod Bodhi Ray over there. Let me see it one more time, Ray. Come on. Let me see it. Flex it up for me. Damn, that's a hot shirt, man. Fucking lightning bolts and exclamation points. I love it.
Gotta go with rest in peace, Roddy Pipe.
Yeah, rest in peace. Till next time when we dance for episode number 9. But for now, we are out.